Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, man, we're not going to have anything to drink again. This might be the second podcast in a row that we haven't had anything to drink.
I know. I think it's too bad that there's not a hidden bottle up in Jason's office, which there is.
Is there?
Yeah.
Seriously?
No, I don't know. But there's got to be.
Welcome to the No Budget Filmmaking Podcast, presented by Cinema Summit, a podcast about the art of making films, no matter how small the budget. And now, here are your hosts, Alex Darke and Trevor L. Nelson.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. This is episode 32 of the No Budget Filmmaking Podcast. I'm Alex Darke.
And I am Trevor L. Nelson. Today we're going to be talking about the debate of shorts versus features. But first, you know what, Alex? We're not drinking anything again. I think we're letting our listeners down.
We're failing.
And
we're right by a Bevmo.
We're right by a Bevmo. For those who don't know what Bevmo is, it's like a little supermarket that only sells booze.
Yeah.
Maybe some snackums too.
There's one just down the street, but it's raining in Los Angeles, and so therefore
we don't go outside. Yeah. And we may sound a little different this time because we're recording this podcast at Aura Media. We had a late shoot here tonight for an infomercial, which is one of our... So we'll move on to what's new, because we're not drinking anything, sadly. I'm sorry, guys. We'll get on it next time, though. I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we will.
Oh, yeah. We got a couple Konas left at the studio, and that's about it.
Yep.
And then we'll switch to hard alcohol.
Switch it.
And freaking 95% Everclear.
Tito's.
Yeah.
Tito's again?
Yes. Yeah. So what's new with us? We filmed an infomercial today for Tim Sykes. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's like a penny stock kind of a whiz kid.
Yeah. If I'm not I actually remember hearing about him a long time ago. But he was the guy who took his bar mitzvah money and turned it into millions of dollars, right? Yeah,
I think that pretty much sums him up. He started investing when he was in college as a freshman. By the time he was a junior or senior in college, he was managing a hedge fund, and he has like a kind of a new fandangled way to make money on stocks that seemed pretty interesting. Of course, we didn't want to spend the $3,000 to find out what it was, but...
No, but... Hey, maybe we'll reach out to him and get a free copy.
Hey, you know what? We'll see. We'll be like, hey, man, we filmed your thing. You mind if we do it? What else is new, Alex?
Well, last week was Thanksgiving.
Yes, so hopefully everyone enjoyed it, or maybe didn't enjoy it because they have a crazy family.
Sure, yeah.
But there's some fun in that when you have a crazy family.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. All the politics talk.
Oh, yeah.
Good times.
Well, isn't there that movie that... it's with Tiffany Haddish, and I think it's Ike... Bernholtz who's that? He's a comedian, and it is about
Night School.
No, yep, Night School. That's it. It is about like they're married or dating, and they go home for Thanksgiving, and it turns to politics talk. But it like in the sense of like it gets dark where they start fighting each other and killing each other. This is gonna.
I have no idea what that movie is. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it ever. Let me see here. I'm going to pull it up right now. He was the guy from Blockers. Did you ever see Blockers?
No.
Okay. He's like the one you've seen his face everywhere, but you don't know.
John Cena?
No, he's not John Cena. Oh. Like, he might be John Cena.
He might be John Cena and you just don't know it.
Yeah.
Because of movie magic.
Have you seen Neighbors?
Yes.
He's the best friend in Neighbors.
Okay.
It's called The Oath. That's what it is.
Never heard of this movie.
He wrote it and directed it, and basically, it's about in a politically divided America, a man struggles to make it through Thanksgiving holiday without destroying his family, but it gets like violent and all that, and so it looks pretty interesting. But
that sounds cool.
Yeah. So if your Thanksgiving was like that, I'm sorry, you probably aren't listening to us in jail if you killed some of your family. But on that note, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and we didn't have an episode this week.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was a new thing.
Yep, that was a new thing. I'm sorry, guys, if we disappointed you. We're used to disappointing everyone. We're used to disappointing our parents.
We're used to that.
Well, can we say they're fans or...
Our listeners.
Our listeners, there you go. Not fans.
No, God, no.
God, no, not our fans. Also, we had our first live class, and it went pretty good.
It did.
We got some good feedback. We talked about how we went about making money with film equipment.
Buying and selling film equipment.
Buying and selling film equipment, and then keeping some of it ourselves to kind of build our production company. It was completely free. So
it was completely free, and we gave away all of our secrets.
All of our secrets. So
and it was cool.
Maybe next time we'll announce it on the podcast. Next time we're going to do one.
Yeah.
And you guys can listen in.
Totally. It went better than I thought it would. We had a little bit of technical difficulties at the beginning.
OBS is a little weird.
It was a little weird. But we got through it, and the feedback was really, really good. I mean, not shocked because I knew it was good info, but I didn't really know for sure how people would react to it.
Not trying to be arrogant, but you know what? It's kind of like the Tim Sykes things today. It was kind of one of those things where, we know it's good because it's worked for us, so we are not too shocked when people are like, oh, that's really good info, because we can prove that it works, because we have so much equipment and we have spent very little on it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so that
was cool.
We're going to do that one again soon, maybe probably not before Christmas, but maybe at the first of the year, depending on how much time we have. Maybe we'll get one in before Christmas, we'll see.
Yeah, maybe we will.
Maybe a little Christmas surprise for everyone.
A little surprise.
Yeah.
The cool thing about them is they're all free.
They're all free.
You got to tune in live and they're free.
Yep. So that's about it. And then what else you got?
We got, we started a filmmaking community.
Check us out.
Called Fearless Filmmakers.
Aren't we
We talked about this a little bit last time.
Yep.
But we just sort of opened the doors right before Thanksgiving. And right now we're up to about 800 members, which is great. And there's been a lot of really, really good feedback from there too.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It's so I don't know. It's cool to hear from all these people from all over the place talk about filmmaking and how excited they are about having this community. And we've made a No Budget Filmmaking podcast group. So if you're a fan of the podcast and want to go talk about the podcast, give us some ideas for future episodes, or critique the sound of our voice, you can go into the group and talk about that.
And guess what, guys? It's also free.
Also free.
Oh my God, we are just giving things away for free. How are we making money? The truth is we're not, and we're poor.
Not.
We're so poor, but we are giving away this stuff for free because we just want to build a nice community of filmmakers that are, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
And we're, meeting a lot of people on Fearless Filmmakers. A lot of people are bouncing questions off of each other. We've gotten it wouldn't be a community without the typical, what camera should I buy?
Sure.
We got a couple of those questions.
Sure.
But jump on out there and meet up other filmmakers.
There's all sorts of cool people in there we've already talked to, and we actually have some people from the community on the podcast.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also tonight, what's new that we didn't put in the notes is met up with a guy who wants to do some kind of 30 for 30 docs. And met up with him. We're going to probably work with him on these things, production-wise and producing-wise. So it's going to be pretty cool, I think. His kind of like 30 for 30, but more like story, like not the mainstream sports. So like horse racing, skydiving, stuff like that. And they'll kind of be little underground stories that people probably haven't heard of. Characters that they haven't heard of, like you're not going to get Bo Jackson on here or any big name sports stars. It's going to be extreme sports stars that you don't know about. And so we're going to be working with him. His name's Mark. Nice guy. Met with him tonight.
Totally.
That's pretty exciting. So we're going to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Try and get Larry involved.
And one more. One more thing.
This
is like a what's cool and what's new, I guess.
But you're breaking the trend. All right, go ahead.
I know. It's a shout out. To one of our Fearless Filmmaker community members.
Okay.
Joel Lopez.
Okay.
Who is an ambassador of Fearless Filmmaker, which means that he's invited a ton of people. He dove in, he was super stoked about it, and then he told me that he just believed in it so much that he just started sharing it with everyone, and he's already moving through the ambassador program, and now he is a silver ambassador on his way to gold.
Is he our first silver ambassador?
Yeah.
Oh, man. How many people have to have joined for silver?
10.
10? That's not bad.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
Joel.
Oh, Joel.
Yeah.
Man, I totally missed that. Sorry, Joel. But
Joel Lopez.
Joel Lopez.
Shout out to Joel.
Thanks a lot, Joel. Don't know if you listen to this podcast, but if you do, hey, thanks.
Yeah. If you're in the community, hit up Joel and be like, hey, you're awesome.
Hey, and by the way, they gave you a shout out on No Budget Filmmaking Podcast, so listen to that too.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Just like cross advertisements. That's what we're looking for. Thanks again, Joel. Appreciate it. And so let's go. I think that does it for what's new.
That's it. Yeah.
Hey, man,
There's absolutely nothing else new.
I'm pretty proud of our what's new because it's kind of like maybe we only do what's new every 2 weeks because then we have more updates.
I know we should.
No, we'll do it every time just so people can see if we're actually.
The problem is when we do it, where we record an episode on Thursday and we record the next episode on Tuesday, and it's been like
4 days.
Yeah.
And we're like,
nothing really is new.
This weekend I did this.
4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a good
That's
our
point.
Life. Yeah, that is our life. Nothing exciting. But on to the debate. So a lot of people out there maybe just starting out in filmmaking or want to move up to the next level, and they're trying to decide if they put their money into a short or a feature. And Alex told me about this topic, and I was stoked. And then Alex told me even more that he's had like a change of heart.
I did have a change of heart because I had extremely strong beliefs in one direction earlier on.
Yeah.
And it was partly due to, I think, my experience in distribution, but also I just had like the mindset of like if I'm gonna spend money on something, I should at least have the option of making money on it. And I felt at the time you couldn't make money on shorts, so why would I do that?
Yeah. I'm with you on that. It's kind of one of those things where, there's no guarantee you're going to make money back with a feature, but there's almost no chance of making money back with a short. Shorts aren't marketable.
Unless you're like a Coen brother and you make 6 of them and put them into one movie. Exactly.
Anthologies or something like that. Or you're like, you do your little short that is part of Trick or Treat. And
exactly.
But that is down the line. That is when somebody hires you to do the short rather than you just doing the short and then trying to fit it in with an anthology series.
Exactly. And, that idea that I had, again, was from a different time because it was back before digital filmmaking was really, anything near what it is today.
Yeah.
So it was like, no matter what, it was a lot more work. It was a lot of work to make a short. It was a lot of work to make a feature.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of time and energy either way. So I was like, you know what? If you're going to do it, you might as well, spend the extra time prepping and shoot for a month instead of a week or whatever.
Yeah.
And just make a feature.
Yeah, and to me, it always was one of those things where it was kind of, to me, like a calling card. Nowadays, if you had the money to do a short, you could probably make a feature, and it will show that you can put together a whole story with and manage, because like a feature is a lot of managing people, managing locations, managing time, managing money, and so I always felt that if you could, anyone could do a short kind of thing. This is kind of like very narrow thinking in my mind. Anyone could do a short. That's fine. It's like you just get your friends together for a weekend, shoot a short. You can make it look awesome. Or like we did, shoot a short in 100 hours. And that's cool and all, but you really want to show you can handle a bigger budget, or not even just a bigger budget, but a bigger production by shooting a feature and being like, look what I can do.
Yeah, and also I think it's easier to tell a story that's 12 minutes long that makes sense and flows, I think, than it is to tell a story that's 90 minutes long and makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know. I did change my mind on this, though, is the thing. And we'll get into some of the reasons why later.
Yeah.
But I think for me, with distribution, there's still not a lot of avenues for shorts. It's like you're limited to festivals.
Yeah.
You're limited to what is that? Oh, I think I have it down here somewhere. The Vimeo staff pick.
Yep, or short film festivals or short of the week.
Yeah, exactly. So, but there are like new things popping up all the time. Like I think Seed and Spark has their OTT platform that you can like make money on.
Yeah.
but it's still strange. It's like a weird little world because like even that, it's pay what you want, minimum of $2 a month. So it's like, man, you're slicing that pie really thin.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that it's almost like, I'm going to sound so old here and like a curmudgeoned old man. Like the youth today, like short things. Like when we were doing YouTube, when we were doing Facebook things for Larry, I realized that our like the things on YouTube that would get good ad revenue were these full interviews. Mm-hmm. But on Facebook, which is more of a youth-driven thing, the full interviews that got like millions of views on YouTube were getting like, 10 views, 10 full-length views, because people these days don't want full-length things online. So if you're putting it online...
Yeah, I mean, especially on Facebook, which is a scroll-driven website. It's like you scroll through it and you will watch something for a few minutes and then keep scrolling.
And now that like, granted, you need to have enough followers, but if you can put your short on YouTube and put ads in front of it, you can start making money with your shorts.
You could.
And if they're really good, you can make a decent amount of money.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to another topic of sort of audience building and stuff like that. And shorts could be a good way to build an audience because you have more opportunities to tell stories and different stories. Instead of putting all your time and effort for like a year into making one story, you could break it up and make several in a year.
Yeah, and I think when things like solid TV were coming out and web series were hot and like micro budget movies were coming out, shorts were just kind of like meh. Like if I could put my money into like a series that I could shoot really good because all the equipment's getting cheaper, why do a short? It almost seemed like it was cheating to do a short. It was like lazy to do a short almost.
Yeah, and there was that time, I mean, when we were in school, it was all shorts all the time, baby. But also...
shorts weather, biatch!
But it was like the thing. It was the thing to do still. It was like, that was the way. You did a short.
Yeah.
Whether you were in school or not.
Yeah.
That was sort of thought of as the way to get in. It's like you need to show that you can make something. What you do is you make a short and then you go around and you show people and then you eventually sort of like get an opportunity to do something else. But that's really not how it is now, really.
Yeah.
And then shortly after we graduated, that wasn't how it was either.
Do you think, now here's a question for you. Do you think because we did so many shorts in school, because we had to, and because we also did them outside of our classes, do you feel that, like, somebody who's breaking in the thing now, into the industry now would be like, oh, do a couple shorts and then try and do a feature. Do you feel that because you had done so many shorts in college that it's like, well, I don't want to do a short now, I've done so many of them, it's time for me to make a feature, and that's what kind of turned you off from shorts?
I'm sure that's true because by the time I was out of college, I had produced and shot my own. I had done like 12 shorts.
Yeah, I had done like 12 to 13 shorts in college. I was like, I'm done with shorts, man. Time to put on some jeans.
Yeah, and then
big boy pants.
Trevor and I both worked on a very big budget short.
Yeah,
as well. And I think that also turned me off to the idea of doing shorts.
Yeah, because it didn't do what the writer-director wanted it to do. And he wasn't even thinking about making money off of it.
No.
He was just thinking, like, if I do this short and spend all this money, then I'm going to get, like, I'm going to have offers lining up out the door to make a feature.
I mean, he was going off of, like, the past, sort of like George Lucas, THX, and, like, Amblin,
because
or Spielberg method.
For those who don't know, at USC, if you're an undergraduate film student, you really don't do a thesis.
You do. You get into a group that does a thesis. You have the opportunity to be the director of. Opportunity.
If you do a master's program there, then you do direct your own thesis.
Right.
So for us who went to undergrad, it was kind of one of those things where this guy, pardon me one second.
Oh, bless you.
So dusty.
Bless you.
Grazie. He didn't get the opportunity to do a thesis, so this was kind of his thesis.
Right.
And George Lucas's THX was his thesis. And that catapulted George Lucas to fame and fortune and selling, Lucasfilms for $2 billion. And so I think his mindset was like, well, I'll make this my thesis and I'll spend a lot of money and I'll shoot it on film and I'll do this high concept show, high concept short, and put in a couple named actors and And so it was one of those things where it didn't work out the way he wanted it to. And so to me, I was, and also because it was a lot of work for that damn short.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I was like, why are we doing this for a short when he could have easily, it was a 45-minute short, and he could have easily turned that into an hour 15 movie, and that's a feature.
Yeah.
Hour 15, hour and a half. There's your movie.
Was that 45 minutes?
I think it was. I think the first cut was 45, and then he just boiled it down even more.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's 45. That's half a feature.
Yeah. And so I think that kind of turned me off from shorts where I was like,
Yeah.
I've done 13 of these. We did a big budget one.
Yeah.
And then
in college we did a feature.
Yeah, then we did a feature, and that was such low budget. It was like, well, that was less than the short. Why not just do a feature? Like,
exactly.
If you can write it the way it should be.
Yeah, but one of I feel like one of the big things that has changed my perspective on this is now that I am an old man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
32. It's not as simple as it seemed in my mind, at the time. I mean, yeah, I did 2 features or whatever. We did 12 shorts, but it was like we didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
We were in school.
Yeah.
And like that's what we were doing.
And that's what we should have been doing. It's like, use your time in school when you're carefree and don't have bills.
Yeah, but then you get out of school and you have some responsibilities, and you can still kind of make it work, but then as you keep going, you get more and more responsibilities and things.
We're talking about marriage here, guys.
Yeah, you're married.
You get married, and then somebody wants well, you should be home more.
Exactly. So you have to, share your time, and it's like it's way easier in my mind to say, okay, I'm gonna focus on this, and we're gonna shoot a short in 7 days, than thinking about the prospect of like taking a month off of work or or being gone for like a month to make a feature.
In honesty, when I was in college, my bills were rent and cheap food and booze.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even have a car in college. And so it was like, then you get off out of college, and all of a sudden you have a car. Yep. You have a bigger apartment that is more expensive.
Yeah.
Then you have a girlfriend who lives with you, and she wants to eat too. Stupid. And then she wants to do things like go out.
She also wants to drink.
Yeah, and she a fish. And then you get married.
Doesn't want to go to the cheap bars all the time. You got to go to some cool bars. You got to go to some cool restaurants.
Yep, and those $4 schlitzes add up when you have 10 of them.
Yep.
And
all the vacations and traveling.
And you know what, that comes with the territory. And so I'm with you that, being like, you know what, you're going to be the only one having income for the next month. Yeah. Why I shoot a feature for no money and has no chance. Because I still think that you got to look at a short as a calling card. You're looking at a short to get something funded. Be it like you say you have a really cool scene that you want to shoot from a movie that a feature you want to get funded. You're still looking at it as like, okay, I'm going to use this to shop around my feature so I can get paid to do it.
There's like some type of goal behind it, but it's also not such a huge commitment that you're spending all your time and money and your own money in it. Without knowing for sure what's going to happen.
So, I mean, there's so many micro budget features out there these days that doing it now is not that big of a deal. It sounds weird. It sounds like it's not like I would rather have, to me, a really well done short that looks awesome. You put the time in, the VFX, the sound is great, blah blah blah. Than a feature that is just kind of half-assed, or not just half-assed, but under budgeted. Yeah. The VFX look bad.
Yeah, and I think that time has totally passed, where it's cool to say, "Oh, I made this for no money."
Yeah.
Because at the time, you couldn't do it really.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it became possible, and people were doing it, and it was like, "Oh, wow, this is crazy! Like this movie looks like a regular movie, or like something that I'd see on TV."
Yeah.
And they made it for like $50,000. That's crazy. But now that's not crazy.
No.
That's normal.
Yeah.
And so going around being like, "Hey, I can make a feature from what you're like, "Oh God."
Well, my cousin made a feature and he's 13. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not impressive anymore to say that. So I think putting the time and effort into making a really good short that checks all the boxes that you want to show, like if if you can make the story really, really hit people in that amount of time, and then make it look really good, and sound really good, that's what you want. It doesn't matter if it's 90 minutes,
Yeah. So, okay, here's a question for you. When you're thinking of a short, would you say you have a really cool TV show idea? Would you shoot one episode of the TV show, or would you just want to do a short that is like in its own standalone thing that's just a calling card to be like, hey, I have a bunch of ideas that have nothing to do with this, maybe the same genre, but...
Yeah, I would do that, mostly because it's the same idea. Like doing a TV show on spec is the same idea as doing a movie on spec.
Yeah.
Like you don't know if that's going to go anywhere. You probably even know less so if a TV show is going anywhere, because there's so many factors that go into that that are out of your control. I would say the best bet would be to make a short that's really, really good in the same realm as whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I would make like a scene or try to like make my TV show into a short or something. I would just make something totally different that is in the same vein, has the same style, mood, or whatever.
Yeah.
Tells a different story. And then you could say to the people, whoever you're approaching, like, check this short out, really good, by the way.
BT dubs.
And here's the next thing that I'm making. Because I don't know if people want necessarily to see like your short and be like, this is what I want to make. I don't know.
So here's a question for you, though. Like in our situation, we have features we have a drama, we have action, we have sci-fi, we have horror. We have genre, comedy, like I said, drama, historical. I have a historical drama.
Yeah, me too.
Westerns.
Yeah.
I mean, we have all these script ideas that spread the genre. We have a TV show that's like, I guess you could say it's kind of like, it's a drama action, and a mystery. So then what do you do your short as? It's like, do you put your projects that you want to make in an order of when you want to make them, and then make a short for the first one you want to make? Like our first feature that we want to make is about, it's a sci-fi horror drama, right? So of course, it's not just one. It can't be. Do we make a sci-fi horror drama short, even though we have a script that's also a Western?
I'd say yes.
Okay.
Only because I think it makes more sense to, like, if you're going out proactively looking for an opportunity. I don't necessarily think you're going out and saying like to these people like, hey, I have 20 miscellaneous scripts to choose from or whatever. You're like, no, you go out with like an idea of one. And if they're not into it, then you can move on to the other ones. But I still think it makes sense to have the short that leads into that one that you're pitching.
Yeah.
And then, to me, it's easier for, again, I feel like most people in executive positions, I know they're going to hate me for saying this.
Your executive experience being head of production or a media.
Exactly. And also being a marketing executive.
Oh, look at you, executive.
VP of acquisitions.
Yeah. I was a junior executive to the executive.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you.
That was at McDonald's.
I was a junior bacon executive.
Ooh. Those junior bacons are great. That's actually Wendy's, but go ahead.
I forget even what I was talking about.
You're going to say some snide remark against executives.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're gonna banish us from the industry forever because you're gonna make fun of executives.
Exactly.
Yep. Go ahead.
No, I just don't think people in general. It's not even just executives. People in general aren't as visually prolific as they think they are in terms of like being able to look at something and make the leap.
Yeah.
So I think if you showed them a short that was exactly the feature that you're wanting to make, but in a short form, and it wasn't up to like the standard of the feature that you're pitching, then they can't make the leap to say this person could make that feature.
Yeah.
But if you make a short that's totally different and say this was a short that I made, I want to make a feature like this with this script, with this different script, then I think it's actually easier for them to say, these are two different things.
Yeah.
And, they did this as a short, but with more money, they could make this and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
There's something weird with that I think it just makes it a little bit more difficult for them to make that leap.
Yeah, and I also think that, the short is going to get you into the room, so you better have your best idea, which is usually the one you want to do first.
Yeah.
To pitch them first. Because if you did a sci-fi horror drama short, then and they were interested in it and want to bring you in, then obviously they want to hear about your short sci-fi horror drama feature because they think you can pull it off because you did the short. I always think of Mike Flanagan, who did Oculus, and it was a short. And it was, this is one of those success stories. Look, we went and saw Oculus at USC. Mm-hmm. The movie was great.
Movie was great.
The short was horrible, I will say.
Yeah.
But that was because it was made in a time when he had used like a handy cam, so it didn't look good. The story was decent, and that's what they liked. Audio was not great, and that's what they liked. They liked
the story, yeah.
And the way he told the story is he said he was in meetings, and he had just forgotten about Oculus because he didn't like the short. And they were like, oh, so what about this? What about this? What about this? Having meetings, having no one ever seen an Oculus. But his agent was like, oh, tell him about Oculus. And they're like, what's that? And he's like, oh, God, it's this horrible short I did. And if somebody finally watched it, was like, I think there's a story here, and I think you could direct it. So it's kind of funny that we're talking about all these high-quality shorts that will get you the job, but sometimes it's just a good story in this short.
Well, yeah, I think no matter what story is the main thing.
Yeah. So I was like,
story.
That is what brings me back to this idea of do you do a short version of a feature you want to do? Because sometimes it works.
Sometimes it works. I mean, there's no telling what's going to work. I mean, you could make a radio play of something, and that stuff gets made these days. I think that that new Amazon show with Julia Roberts was a radio or a podcast-y teleplay.
Well, they're doing a limited series. I don't know what station it's on or what network or what streaming service. Dirty John. Dirty John is about this woman that was it was one of those, her husband wasn't who she thought he was. But it started as a 6-part series of articles in the LA Times that got turned into a podcast and is now a TV show starring Connie Britton. Mm-hmm. And Eric Bana, I think, plays her husband, John. I love Eric Bana. So it's as long as the story is good, they don't care where the source comes. But if you are trying to get, it's almost like if you want somebody to buy your script and not direct it, then you do a short about it almost so that they know the story's good. Yeah. But if you want to direct something, show them that you can direct. It doesn't matter what it is. Just show them that there's give a good product. Yeah. That's not doesn't necessarily have to be based on what you want to do your feature on. Yeah, and I also think it's an important distinction to make. At least for me, again, you can do whatever you want. I think lots of people do other things than what I'm suggesting here. But nobody really takes your advice ever. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't do dump Enron stock. Yeah, whatever, Alex. I wouldn't do a scene. Just because I think you want if you're going to put all this time and effort into making something, you should do something that stands alone. Make it a mini feature, beginning, middle, and end, but in short form. Exactly. So I wouldn't necessarily do just pull a scene from your feature script and shoot that. Yeah. I would do a short that you could, go take to a festival and they would still accept it, because it's a short. It stands alone. It's not just a part of a movie. Yeah, where there's no beginning, middle, and end, no character. Yeah, because I think you're, in that sense, I've heard a lot of people doing stuff like teaser trailers. Mm-hmm. We've, I was supposed to DP one, and then I had a horrible accident, couldn't do it. But, Which one was that? I cut my finger. No, I know. I remember that whole thing. Mm-hmm. But what were you supposed to do? No, I wasn't DPing it. I was supposed to gaff this teaser trailer. They rented all our gear, our grip truck, and we were supposed to go out to the woods. Basically, what happened was they wanted an HMI 1.2K. We had 2.5Ks that also were capable of being 1.2Ks, but I didn't have the right cable, so I was going to splice these two cables together
and ended up cutting my hand.
Yeah, so this is the Alex side of the story.
Yeah.
This is the Trevor side of the story. I live downtown. Our truck was in North Hollywood. For anyone who doesn't know the LA landscape, that's a good 30-minute drive, 45-minute drive on a good day.
Yeah.
So
granted, this was at midnight.
Yeah. So at 11:30ish, I get a text from Alex. It says, "Hey man, can you come up to the truck and close it up?" Because it had lights that would shine outside. We had all of our gear in there, and so I was like, "Yeah, no problem. What did you just forget to shut it up, shut it down?" And Alex lived in Santa Monica, so it was a little bit further for him. He's like, "I'm going to the hospital." I'm like, "Wait, what? Wait, what?" He's like, "I cut my finger open trying to splice these cables together." And I was like, "Holy shit. All right, I'll go up there." So imagine my surprise when I walk into the truck where we had a table, like a workstation desk built into the side of the truck indoors. And there is Alex's Leatherman, a cable, like a cut-up cable, and just blood.
Just blood.
Just blood everywhere. So, I don't think we've told that story before.
Cut through the tendon, cut it in half.
So his finger went limp.
Had to go to the emergency room. They sewed it back up. Totally fine.
Not for a while. You had to do exactly.
And do physical therapy, the whole deal. It was great.
So that's a side story, but a good one. And then they rented the truck with blood in it.
Yeah. So they were shooting a teaser trailer for a feature that they were wanting to pitch around. I've heard of people doing scenes.
Yep.
But to me, it's tough. It's tough because you're putting a lot of eggs in a basket that is very questionable. Mm-hmm. Because if you can't get that to go, then you have on your hands a
very specific
product that doesn't do you really any good in any other scenario.
Yeah. So we talk a lot about micro budget, filmmaking, features, and all that. But do a micro budget short. It'll take even less money than a feature, and then you could probably get funding.
The money that you would make a micro budget short for could make a pretty solid feature, I think. Plus, the other thing is now that crowdfunding exists and is more feasible for things, I think I'm always questioning I don't think we could crowdfund a feature. I mean, that's crazy. Getting $100,000, people don't know who the heck we are, or whatever. But getting $10,000 to shoot a short, that seems doable.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's yet another reason I think it might be better to.
And especially when you're trying to crowdfund or hit up the family for money for a feature, you always have to do this thing where it's that weird I'm going to try and sell it and make everyone their money back. And I just want to let you know it may not happen, but I hope it does. But with a short, you're like, hey, look, guys, thanks for investing in me. You ain't going to see this money because this has no money.
Fork over the $50 and call it a day.
Exactly. And so you don't need that many people to give you money, and they all know that they're not going to get this money back because it's a short.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to shoot a short in a weekend. Especially if you get all your eggs in one bag, or a 4-day, or take a week.
Yeah, a week even.
Hard to do a really, really good feature unless you are on point.
In a week?
In a week.
My gosh,
Logan wanted to do one.
I know, and I think it can be done but you have to have a very specific style, I think, to make that work. And
you got to realize, guys, you talk about micro budget filmmaking and micro budget films. The money is micro budget, but the work into it is the same as any feature. You got to sit with these actors. And it's harder because you have to sit with these actors, you have to rehearse, and you have to hope that their schedule holds up for a long shoot. With a short, you could do a rehearsal and then be like, hey, guess what? This is going to take a week.
Yeah.
Can you give me a week?
Yeah, the micro budget thing makes it very unusual because the whole project is held together by dreams and spit. Basically, because at any moment, there's almost no incentive for anybody to be working on this thing.
No.
Because you're probably not paying them.
Nope.
The food's not great.
Nope.
The hours are terrible.
Yep.
And it's just everyone's doing it for experience and I don't know, because they like you maybe, but it's just not a whole lot to hold it together. And so you have to work really, really hard to make sure everyone's motivated, wanting to come back the next day for a month straight. I mean, that's really hard to do. Yeah,
and at the same time, you also have to realize that you can probably get a lot more okays and yeses to work on your project if it's like 7 days rather than like 3 months or like a month of shooting. And then at the same time, if you do get people to say okay for a month and you're not paying them, at any point they could quit, and then you have to like hold production. Like micro budget features are hard.
Yeah, and this also reminds me of why it was easier when we were in college, because at that time we were in that mode. Everything we did was volunteer. I mean, we were just working on friends' projects left and right, and they were working on ours. It was just how it was.
And for the most part, they didn't have anything else to do because they didn't have the bills. They were in college. Like now, it's like, well, like you'll be surprised if you don't pay an actor, and you know it doesn't matter how amped they are of the project, like how excited they are. And you're shooting for like a month on a micro budget feature. You know how quickly that person will turn if they get a commercial book that is going to take a 3-day shoot in the middle of it? They're going to say, I got to make money.
Oh, God, yeah. Not only that, but like even without that catalyst, there's so many reasons that they could just lose interest or just like say, oh, my God, these people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't believe in this anymore. It's like you have to sustain their belief for a month that this is going to be a really good thing that they're going to want to stick with. It's tough.
It's super tough. People are quick to run away when they feel that they're being taken advantage of or things aren't going the way.
Yeah. And
it's much easier to ask somebody to shoot for 7 days for a really good-looking short, because then they can shop that whole short around. They don't have to take a little snippet out for the reel. They can say, hey, look at this short I was acting in. That looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, totally. And the other thing that I was going to bring up about the shorts versus feature idea is like if you're taking, let's say you were going to put $20,000 into a feature, it's going to be 90 minutes versus $20,000 into a 10-minute short.
Oof.
You're going to have to pare down that feature and like everything in it to be able to make it work for 10 grand or
20 grand.
20 grand. Whereas the 10-minute feature, you won't have the same problem. You'll be able to tell a more like well-rounded story and have a more well-rounded project overall.
Shit, and we've talked about this so many times about the not unexpected, but the unknown expenses that go into a feature and all that. $20,000 short, you could pay a sound mixer to get really good sound, to get a really good soundtrack, and get a really good
sound designer, post mix and all that stuff. Foley.
Put some money into freaking nice set design so it looks really awesome. I mean, that is something that can be paid for with the budget of $20,000 for a 10-minute short.
Yeah,
because it's so much cheaper the actual production of it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you can get basically more for your money doing a short.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think you'll probably be happier with the end product.
Yeah, and it's something that has beginning, middle, and end that you can then shop around to people and say, hey, check out the short I did. It got some monies from, it got some awards from all these short things. It was Vimeo Staff Pick of the Week, stuff like that.
Yep.
And that could go a long way. I mean, they have a short category in the Oscars. So, I mean, shorts aren't something to, like, sneeze at.
Yeah, exactly. I sneezed at them for a long time. I was allergic, but now I'm cured.
You've seen the light of shorts. Seen up the shorts. Oh, no. Yeah. That'll about do it with that, I think.
I think so.
I think you guys, just take away from it. Really think about doing a really good, solid short that you're proud of and that you really put all your gusto into.
Yeah.
Because it could really pay off. It could give you a calling card, get those other projects off the ground with a little bit of money from people that saw your short and think, this person could do it.
Yeah. You know what I think I would like to do?
Oh.
Interspersed with our free classes.
Yeah.
Is a series of challenges.
Ooh. Like Highlander.
There can be only one.
There can be only one.
But that sort of go through the whole process of a short. You're starting with the script. We'll do the first challenge, which is like writing a script.
Yeah.
and then second challenge, like prepping it, shooting it, editing it, the whole thing. And then by the end of it, you'll have a short film, and then we will do it as well.
And we'll do it along with them, and we will feel sad when other people's are better than ours. And
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Yeah. And then maybe what we'll do is we can get some sponsors for it. We'll do a little short competition after all the people who have like submitted to that.
That'd be cool.
We could get Bermuda Shorts to sponsor it.
Yeah, totally.
Shorts.
Yep. Running shorts.
Daisy Duke shorts.
Yep.
All the shorts.
Yeah. Martin shorts.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. So we'll let you guys know. This is just matriculating in our brain heads.
Yep, it is.
And we'll go from there.
All right. So what's cool, Trevor?
What is cool? So I'm going to talk about the Rodecaster Pro.
All right, do it.
So for those who are listening to this podcast, we mostly, except for this episode, we usually use a nice little mixer that has inputs and has our mics, goes out to a computer, lets us record, lets us mix and all that.
Record it in Adobe Audition.
Yeah, stuff like that. So the Rodecaster Pro is kind of geared towards podcasters. It will allow you to, I think it has 4 mic inputs, output to the computer. It records locally on the thing.
Yeah, with micro SD.
With micro SD. So if you could do it without a computer.
Which is cool.
Which is awesome. So if you're doing it like on location podcast, you don't have a computer that you can easily hook up to it and start and record there. You can record, and I believe it records the ISOs individually.
I believe it does.
Which is awesome.
And it has discrete monitoring, so you can have the 4 monitor headphones coming out of the thing itself, and adjust the volumes.
Which is awesome. But what is really cool about this is you can pair cell phones with it.
Yeah.
So you can connect your cell phone to it. So me and Alex always have this problem when we do interviews is because we use Zencastr, which is a computer. So we have a computer going into it. It's crazy. We have a computer going into our mixer, and then audio coming out of that mixer to send back to the computer so the person that we're interviewing can hear us respond, and then we can record their audio as like a ISO, and then it goes out to another computer to record. Well, this one, it pairs with the phone, so you can just have a phone conversation, and it automatically just looks at it as an input. You don't have to do anything else. It sends it sends your audio to the phone. It records the audio coming from the phone. It's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, that's
we gotta get our hands on this so we can test it out.
Yeah. So, it is $600, so it's a little pricey. But if you are doing podcasts and stuff like that, it seems pretty cool, especially for that phone feature. Because we have gone crazy thinking about what we could do to have better phone interviews. Because a lot of the interviews that we do are with people all over the place, and so we just always want a better solution than Zencastr. Because sometimes Zencastr is stupid.
Yeah.
So, Rodecaster Pro. What else you got, Alex?
All right, I'm going to talk about the Swit.
Ooh.
Swit CM55C.
Yeah.
I just heard about this.
Okay.
It's a monitor, a 5-inch monitor or 5.5-inch monitor that has its own little bracket on it that you can slide into a cold shoe mount or a hot shoe mount on a camera. Perfect for DSLRs, and it has all the features that you would want, like false colors, focus peaking. It has like waveforms, zeros, and all that. And it is capable of loading LUTs. It has a little
SD. Oh, that's awesome.
Little SD card input.
Yeah.
Load up some LUTs on it.
Love it.
And it looks nice. I mean, it has a little joystick. It looks almost identical, or like kind of a copy of the Small HD Focus, which was something, I don't know if they even really promote that so much anymore, but it was made for like DSLRs and stuff. It looks very similar to that. It has a little battery thing on the back, so
nice.
You can use like Sony batteries on it, but it's super cheap.
Nice.
Talking like $200.
That's crazy for a DSLR monitor.
Yeah, it looks great
with all that with LUTsable.
Yeah, LUTsable, and it sounds like the thing about Small HD is it's like very rugged and everything's like aluminum housings and stuff, and this is plastic, and I'm sure it's
not as rugged,
nowhere near as high quality, but I think the Focus is like $600, which is like one of their cheaper monitors.
So for $200, like
$200.
I mean, as long as the display is good, don't go beating it around and bringing it on a documentary that is being run through the jungle, and you'll be fine.
Exactly. I think it's got a little sunshade, and it's like 400 nits or something.
Ooh, love me some nits. Give me all those nits.
I don't know. Looks like something to check out.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you want to stay in the low budget area and you just need a monitor that is color accurate.
Yep.
All right, I got the DJI Osmo Pocket that was just announced.
Yeah.
Now, this thing is like, I mean, I'm trying to find a comparable size to it, like a stapler almost.
Yeah.
It's like the size of a stapler in width and length.
Smaller, I think.
Maybe even smaller. But it has a built-in 4K camera.
Yeah.
And it has the same stabilization that the regular DJI Osmo has.
Uh-huh. And it has a little focus wheel built into it, right?
Yeah. And so you could freaking...
And it has a little monitor built into it.
Does it? Or does it have... Is it connects to the phone again?
I think it has a little monitor built into it.
Really? Oh, man, I didn't see that.
But it's tiny. The thing that I wonder is the camera itself is so small.
The sensor has to be so tiny.
The sensor has to be like basically a cell phone camera.
Oh, you're right. It does have a little monitor. I'm just looking at it right now. Yeah, the sensor can't be great. I mean, it is... I mean, it is 4K.
Yeah.
But... I mean, that's a small-ass sensor. The
Osmo itself is kind of small. I'm kind of wondering, like, what the use case is where you would need that over just the regular Osmo.
Well, for one...
Not even the Pro version, but just like the original one.
For one reason, it's only $350.
There we go. Well, the original one was like $350.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, here's the thing. The same camera sensor as the Mavic Pro, the Mavic Air, the Mavic 2 Zoom.
Interesting.
So, I mean, those drones are producing some good images, so it's not that small.
Yeah, it probably has terrible low light, I imagine.
It has night mode. Well, it might not be great. Who knows, but it does have face tracker, so it will track a face if you need to and all that.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty sweet. We love our Osmo, and we're big fans of it. We've used it to shoot some great stuff for videos for people and all that.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested in checking it out. I'm trying to see here if the monitor is actually a monitor or if it is. Looks like it does like waveform. Like it almost is like.
Like almost like a display to run through the menu. Yeah,
or something like that. I can't tell if it actually. I don't know, but it's still freaking sweet. And when you turn it off, the gimbal tilts the camera on end so that the lens isn't exposed. Freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looks interesting. I mean, definitely the portability of it. You could just like toss it into a backpack or like a fanny pack
or a pocket, which is why they call it the Osmo Pocket.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it is a touchscreen on it, and let you frame up the shot and then go through the menu and all that. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yep. Nice. What else you got?
All right. I'm talking about scriptation, baby.
What? Explain.
Have you heard of scriptation?
I actually have, yeah.
So it's an app that was created for several different people on set. You can use it as a DP or director or scripty. Basically, even actors can use it. But it's a piece of software, an app that you use with your scripts that allows you to make notations on it. Notes, you can type, you can doodle, you can add pictures, you can do all sorts of stuff to it. And then as new drafts come in, it auto-populates the new draft with your same notes. So you don't have to like copy over new notes onto the new draft or whatever.
That's cool.
So like Trevor and I, with our recent script, it's if you saw it, it's covered in sticky notes.
Oh.
It has handwriting all over it. If we, when we do new drafts or whatever, you have to kind of like go back over it and see where the notes belong, like what we changed, and it's kind of a mess. But with this, it kind of automates that process, and then also it becomes like a handy tool when you're on set because you can take a look at your notes actually on top of the script itself. And you're always making new drafts as you're shooting as well. So then your notes still transfer over. So if you have like a little doodle you did that's like a shot, like almost like a thumbnail or like a storyboard panel for a scene, but you get a new draft the day before, you don't have to like try to redoodle that.
How does it scan it with your phone? Do you take a picture of it?
You upload a PDF.
So you scan it?
Or you just save it as PDF.
No, I'm saying like if I have a paper script and I'm writing notes on it.
No, this eliminates the need for that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so you would just upload the PDF of the script itself. And
so basically you're not carrying around a paper script anymore. You are carrying around a tablet that has that you can then write with a stylus and say, hey, this needs to change, this needs to change, this needs to change.
Exactly. And I mean, it does all sorts of cool stuff, I realized. So it even recognizes different character names and stuff. So like the way they advertise it on their website, like if you're a like a boom operator or whatever, and you need to like highlight every actor's name with different colors or something so you know where to point the boom. It'll automatically do that.
That's awesome.
You can assign colors to different actors.
Okay, so you just take your script in like Final Draft, export it as a PDF, upload it to this app, and it'll repopulate it with all your notes.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And it's pretty cool.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I like that.
I think it I looked at the Windows version. I think it was like $10.
Oh, wow. Shit.
But I think they're moving to free with maybe like certain
restrictions
that you need to unlock.
I mean, for $10, unlock it. Is it $10 a month or just $10? I
think it was $10.
Oh my gosh, I mean, come on. You could afford $10, guys. It makes your life that much easier. Do it.
Pretty cool.
What else is cool? We used it today, and I have never seen this before. Lacey, their new USB-C external drives.
Yes.
This one was a 4 terabyte RAID. Super cool. But what it had was a built-in SD card reader.
Yeah.
An automated import.
That's pretty cool.
So you can, and don't quote me on this because I didn't use that feature because it was somebody else's project and I didn't want to screw anything up by doing that. But to me, it looks like it had a power cord. So to me, not a lot of externals have power cords. I think because it was 4 terabyte RAID external, it was a little. I mean, it's a rugged drive, so it's not huge.
Yeah.
I think it needed a little more power. But what it meant is that I think all you need to do on set is like take an SD card, plug that hard drive into power, pop that SD card in, and it will transfer it over to the hard drive.
Yeah, it must have like an LED or something that signifies when it's done.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it does have a blinking LED, so if that thing stops blinking, you got to think, oh, well, I guess it's done, which is super cool if you're on set and you have, you're using your GH5S or your A7S and it has SD and you fill it up, pop it in this hard drive, boom. Don't even need to have a computer out there.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I like that. Nice little immediate backup so that when you put that SD card away, if it gets lost or broken or somehow, you got a backup.
I like it.
Yeah. No, it looks really cool.
The last thing that I saw today was what's called GH Alex.
Of course you liked it.
Yeah, it's a LUT.
Okay.
I don't know why they didn't add the A at the end. But basically, it's a LUT for the GH5 and the GH5S to make your footage look like it's from an Alexa.
Oh, man.
It's got basically just like a color profile that really focuses on skin tone. And I don't know, it looks pretty nice. I checked out the footage and the examples. And in some cases, I'd say it was like a little too much, but for the most part, it made the skin tone look much better.
Oh, man. Everyone loves their Alexa, too.
They do. And so they showed comparisons between, they shot in Vlog.
Okay.
And then used a Vlog to like Rec 709 LUT.
Yeah.
And they showed the comparison between that and then the Alexa LUT. And I have to say, the Rec 709 LUT made the skin tone look a little magenta.
Interesting.
And then the Alexa LUT really made the skin tone look pretty nice.
Dude, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Like, give me that.
And it also was like a little bit flatter and kind of like had a real cinematic vibe to it.
Shit. Well, if we ever end up getting our GH5Ss, we might have to get that.
I'm on board.
Was it how much? Did it have a price on it, or is it free?
$65.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad.
Rather than paying $30,000 for $60,000 for an Alexa.
Yeah. Or yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah. That'll about do it for this episode. What do you think? Think we did good?
I think that was it.
All right. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for joining us. You can get the show notes for this episode by visiting nobudgetfilmmaking.com/episode 32.
Don't forget to hop on over to iTunes and subscribe to the podcast. And while you're there, give us a 5-star rating if you feel so inclined, please. We love those.
Please. If you have any filmmaking questions, ask away in the comment section and we'll try to answer them. Or also hop over to fearlessfilmmaker.com and join the No Budget Filmmaking Podcast group. It's free again, and talk about episodes there. We are always on that site because it's ours and we feel obligated to be. And we'll answer any questions there too if you guys want to talk about what we talked about in any episode.
Yeah, so again, that's fearlessfilmmakers.com.
Join up, it's free.
It's free. Also, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram at Cinema Summit, and we'll catch you next time.
And we swear we'll be drinking something. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Later.
Peace.